It may surprise or even shock you to hear what I'm about to say, but if you're seeing this video right now, it's no accident. You might have sensed it already, a feeling in the air that you're being observed more closely than usual. Perhaps people around you pause mid-sentence when you enter the room, or you catch someone staring, as if trying to decipher some hidden code within you. As a chosen one, your every action seems magnified. Part of you might wonder if you're imagining the heightened attention, but the truth is, you are standing at an intersection where mortal concerns brush against divine possibility. It's like you've walked up to a gateway, one that leads into an elevated realm few ever glimpse. Those on the other side, both in the physical and spiritual domains, have their eyes fixed on you. If you're ready to accept this unfolding reality, please like this video, subscribe, and comment 77 below to declare you're open to this immense transformation. Chapter 1. A door you once thought invisible. Even before you knew you were a chosen one, there were signs. You were never quite like anyone else. Perhaps you sensed an otherworldly nudge as you stood at critical life crossroads. Or maybe you felt inexplicably safeguarded during moments that seemed destined to go awry. Back then, you might have brushed these encounters aside as coincidences or random good fortune, but in hindsight, you realize they were affirmations that you walk a path unlike most. Now those early signs bloom into clarity. You're on the threshold of something vast. Some days that door into the rarefied realm feels so close you could touch it. You might dream of towering arches or luminous corridors, waking with a start to the undeniable sense that you were just somewhere else. An elevated plane not bound by everyday logic. During your waking hours, you notice how certain conversations or events bend around you, as though orchestrated to test your readiness. Strange as it sounds, it's almost as if you're living in two realities at once: the practical world of errands and obligations, and a more ethereal place that drifts at the edges of your vision. However, stepping through this doorway is not as simple as walking across a threshold. It demands something deeper: the willingness to leave behind old illusions about who you are. As soon as you approach this portal, it's like the universe holds up a mirror, reflecting back every doubt and every bit of unresolved baggage. In that mirror, you see both your grand potential and the lingering shadows that question your worth. This reflection can be disorienting, yet it also offers an invitation. By confronting these shadows, you calibrate yourself to the frequency needed to pass into the realm beyond. Others may sense that you're on the brink of a major shift, and their reactions can be telling. Some might rally to your side, eager to see what emerges from your metamorphosis. Others, plagued by their own insecurities, may try to hold you back. In either case, their watchful gaze intensifies. They see the subtle changes in how you move, speak, and set your intentions. They might not have the vocabulary to describe what they're witnessing, but they can feel the ripples of something extraordinary. The real test comes when you realize that the door, once invisible, is now unmistakably in front of you. It calls out with a resonance that can't be ignored. Every fiber of your being knows you're not supposed to stay in the old patterns that once fit like a too familiar costume. Deep down, you recognize that crossing this threshold is inevitable, and any resistance you feel is just the tension of transformation. This door has always been there, waiting for you to see it, and now that you do, there's no going back to sleep. It's time to acknowledge that your journey has reached a critical inflection point, and the next step requires more courage and more faith than ever before. Chapter 2. An invisible audience. You never asked for you might have gone through life feeling overlooked in many ways, only to suddenly find yourself under a microscope. It's not just friends and family paying attention. It's strangers on social media, co-workers, casual acquaintances, even people you've long lost touch with. Somehow they gravitate back into your orbit, curious about your every move. Sometimes you sense a genuine admiration in their gaze, but other times it feels more like they're probing for any sign of weakness. As a chosen one, you become a magnet for curiosity, questions, and occasionally hidden envy. It can be unsettling, this awareness that multiple sets of eyes follow you. You step out in public, and even if no one overly acknowledges you, there's an undercurrent that you're being evaluated in ways you can't fully see. It might make you self-conscious at times, prompting you to question, am I doing this right? Am I living up to what they think I should be? Yet if you delve deeper, you'll see that their scrutiny isn't merely about who you've been. It's also a reflection of who they sense you're becoming. People are drawn to the unknown radiance you carry, even if they can't articulate it. Still, that invisible audience can be draining if you let it. You might feel pressure to please or to project a certain image, forgetting that your power resides in authenticity. Or you might be tempted to shrink from the spotlight, hoping the watchers will lose interest if you stop shining so brightly. But that dimming of your own light is a disservice not only to yourself, but also to the broader tapestry of life that needs your unique glow. If anything, the attention you receive should affirm that your path matters. It's a sign that your internal shifts are rippling outward, calling others to witness or to question. Occasionally, negative energies may infiltrate this audience. Certain individuals observe you with mistrust, or they concoct narratives that cast you in an unflattering light. They might try to sabotage your progress, fearful that your ascendancy somehow negates their own. While their actions can sting, remind yourself that their response isn't genuinely about you. It's about the insecurities they carry. Rather than fighting them head-on, your best option is to continue refining your sense of self-worth. Your growth does not depend on their approval, nor can their disapproval truly hinder your destiny. Take a moment to reflect on how far you've come. Remember when no one believed in you? Or worse, no one noticed you at all. Now you have an audience, for better or worse, because something in you demanded recognition from the cosmos. This isn't about seeking validation, but about acknowledging that you stand on a precipice. The watchers feel it too. The realm you're entering is so profound that it shifts the energy of those around you. Whether they cheer you on or try to cast shadows on your journey, they're inadvertently confirming your significance. Through it all, your task is to stay centered in your own truth, letting their attention highlight just how close you are to stepping fully into the rarefied realm of the gods. Chapter 3. The Portal's Call. How you know it's real. Sometimes crossing into a higher plane sounds like lofty metaphors, but when you're actually nearing that portal, it feels tangible. You catch glimpses of what lies beyond in the form of heightened intuition, uncanny synchronicities, and moments of euphoria that seem to bubble up from nowhere. It's as if life is momentarily peeling back its curtain, granting you a sneak peek of what life in that rarefied realm might look like. And once you taste it, you crave more. That taste confirms you weren't just daydreaming. There is indeed another level waiting for you. Your senses may become sharper, or your emotions more vividly intense. Colors appear more vibrant, music resonates deeper in your chest, and words spoken by mentors or even random strangers strike with the force of prophecy. You might also notice your sleeping patterns shifting. Dreams become more elaborate, or you wake up suddenly in the middle of the night, feeling as though you've traveled somewhere else. During your waking hours, time can feel oddly elastic, either racing by when you're in flow or stretching out when you face an inner battle. These distortions are all indicators that you're operating under a different energetic blueprint, one that edges you closer to the threshold. Yet the portal's call isn't always sunshine and enchantment. It can also stir up inner turmoil. Old traumas or insecurities rise to the surface, demanding to be addressed if you intend to move forward. You might find yourself cycling through intense emotions, anger, sadness, fear, at unexpected moments. It can be disorienting, but it's also purposeful. The deeper energies of this higher realm need you to be as clear as possible, unburdened by the unhealed fragments of your past. You might think of it as an energetic passport check. You can't bring emotional contraband into a place designed for higher vibrations. External validation can appear in surprising ways. Perhaps you get an out-of-the-blue job offer that perfectly aligns with a dream you only recently dared to speak aloud, or a chance encounter leads to a transformative friendship. These signs might make your logical mind do double takes. You might question if it's all just chance, but your heart knows better. It recognizes these happenings as breadcrumbs guiding you toward the portal you're destined to step through. Each coincidence is a small gust of wind in your sails, propelling you toward the horizon. At this stage, it helps to cultivate an attitude of gratitude for every sign, every intuitive flash, every emotional purge that surfaces. By actively acknowledging them, you sharpen your own awareness, making the portal's path more visible. It's a balancing act of humility and anticipation, knowing that you're part of something so much grander, yet intimately personal. And through each new day, as you gather these subtle confirmations, you realize that your entire life has been designed to reach this point, where the invisible becomes visible and the mundane merges with the magical. The portal is real, and it's beckoning you with increasing urgency. Chapter 4. Navigating with Grace. Among the skeptics, embarking on a journey toward a realm that few can fathom automatically places you at odds with those who see the world through rigid filters. Some might scoff at the notion that you're approaching a new dimension of reality, dismissing it as fantasy or wishful thinking. Others might be polite but keep their distance, unsure how to relate to someone who speaks of portals and higher planes as though they're more than just metaphors. As a chosen one, you can't entirely avoid skepticism, but you can navigate it with grace. When confronted with disbelief, it's easy to feel defensive or tempted to prove yourself. Yet trying to force others to share your vision often leads to frustration. Instead, consider that each person's skepticism is a reflection of their own journey. They might be dealing with experiences that have taught them to distrust what isn't tangibly verifiable, or they could be so rooted in the logic of the five senses that talk of spiritual gateways sounds alien. While it may sting if these skeptics are people you care about, remember that your path doesn't rely on their validation. The realm you're entering stands firm whether or not they believe it exists. There's also a hidden opportunity in skepticism. If you can remain calm and compassionate, you might plant a small seed of curiosity in those who doubt. Rather than lecturing, you can share personal anecdotes of your journey, the sudden epiphanies, the improbable coincidences that guided you, the sense of purposeful calm that fills you even in challenging times. Such stories speak to the heart in a way logic struggles to match. While not everyone will be moved, a few might find themselves intrigued, returning later with their own questions. In this subtle way, you become an ambassador for the unimaginable possibilities that lie just beyond ordinary perception. Meanwhile, you may face cynics who are outright hostile, mocking your faith or insinuating you're delusional. It's crucial to remember that hostility is often a mask for fear. Their aggression could stem from feeling threatened by what they can't control or comprehend. In these cases, setting boundaries protects both your energy and your progress. You have the right to minimize contact with those who drain or belittle you, particularly when you're undergoing a sensitive phase of spiritual elevation. Sometimes stepping back is the wisest form of self-care. Through it all, keep your sights on the realm you're moving toward. Let the skeptics play their part in the grand tapestry of your life. Their resistance can serve as a mirror, highlighting how secure you are in your calling. If you find their doubts shaking your confidence, take it as a cue to reaffirm your inner knowing. Conversely, if you navigate their critiques without losing your center, you confirm that you've matured in your spiritual stance. You'll realize that your commitment to the journey is unshakable, not because you cling blindly to a belief, but because you felt the portal's pull in the deepest part of your being. And that, in essence, is all the confirmation you need. Chapter 5. Sacred Preparations for a Cosmic Threshold. As the feeling intensifies that you're about to cross into a higher realm, preparations begin to feel less like an option and more like a sacred responsibility. You might notice yourself drawn to activities that purify both body and mind. Whether it's altering your diet, dedicating more time to meditation or prayer, or engaging in a creative project that seems to channel energies beyond your usual scope. These aren't random whims. They're intuitively guided moves that refine your vibration, making you an ideal candidate for the rarefied space that awaits. This phase can also bring an urge to simplify your life. You might find yourself giving away possessions that suddenly feel burdensome, or rethinking commitments that no longer align with your deeper purpose. In cutting away the superfluous, you create a hollow space in which your spiritual essence can resonate more clearly. Some might misconstrue your minimalism as detachment or aloofness, but in truth, it's you making room for the new cosmic data you'll soon receive. When the portal opens fully, you don't want to be tangled in the clutter of outdated energies. Meanwhile, your emotional world may undergo a similar house cleaning. Old resentments, lingering guilt, or unspoken forgiveness might rise to the surface, insisting on resolution. This can be an intensely personal process. Journaling, heartfelt confessions, or quiet moments of release could become part of your daily routine. If tears come, let them. If anger flares, honor it safely. By addressing these emotional residues, you ensure that your passage through the portal won't be hindered by unresolved baggage. Think of it as lightening your spiritual load so you can cross the cosmic threshold unencumbered. Interestingly, you may also sense an uptick in your creative or intuitive gifts. Perhaps you write poetry without trying, or your dreams become so vivid they practically speak to you in messages. If you're musically inclined, you might channel melodies that sound otherworldly. These bursts of insight act like rehearsals for the main event, fine-tuning your ability to communicate with realms beyond ordinary human understanding. The more you embrace these talents, the more comfortably you'll navigate the environment waiting on the other side. Take these sacred preparations as signs that your higher self is orchestrating every detail. You might have once believed that spiritual growth was random or accidental, but you're now seeing how organized it truly is. There's a direct correlation between your actions in this plane and the blessings that unfold in the next. Each intentional move you make, whether it's decluttering a closet or offering a heartfelt apology, clears a path for energies that elevate you beyond your previous limits. It's a co-creative dance with the universe, one that acknowledges you're not a passive recipient of higher wisdom, but an active participant in your own ascension. Chapter 6. Balancing Power with Humility. Stepping closer to a domain often reserved for legends and deities can stir up powerful emotions. On one hand, there's an exhilarating sense of having made it, like you've cracked a cosmic code that was once beyond your grasp. On the other, you might battle the temptation to place yourself on a pedestal. After all, if you're brushing shoulders with the gods, doesn't that make you better or more special than those who remain unaware of such realms? The truth, for a chosen one, is more nuanced. Genuine spiritual evolution calls for humility. Yes, you are extraordinary in your capacity to perceive and interact with higher energies. Yes, you have a mission that sets you apart from the majority, but this distinction doesn't grant you license to look down on others. If anything, it charges you with the responsibility of using your newfound insights to uplift rather than condemn. Keeping your feet on the ground ensures you don't lose the very empathy that drew these blessings toward you. It's a delicate balancing act, maintaining awareness of your own magnitude while staying relational to those who have yet to see theirs. You might occasionally find yourself in awe of your own growth, perhaps marveling at how much you've changed compared to who you were just a few months or years ago. In those instances, gratitude can be your compass. By thanking the forces, divine guides, ancestors, cosmic energies that helped you evolve, you shift focus away from self-aggrandizement. It reminds you that you're part of a network of benevolent influences that chose to support your journey. Rather than puffing up your ego, you cultivate reverence, seeing your capabilities as a collective gift. At the same time, humility doesn't mean shrinking or denying your gifts. You're allowed to celebrate your achievements. You're encouraged to share your experiences in ways that help others awaken to their own paths. Confidence and humility can coexist. The difference is that confidence seeks to serve the greater good, while arrogance seeks to overshadow it. You'll know you're on the right track when the gratitude you feel in your heart supersedes any desire for external praise or recognition. That internal compass will keep you aligned with the intentions of the rarefied realm you're stepping into. Also, be mindful that your gifts may draw people seeking answers or relief. While you may feel compelled to assist, setting boundaries remains crucial. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot rescue everyone from lessons they were meant to learn. Helping others isn't about swooping in as a savior. It's about guiding them to their own potential. This approach not only keeps your energy balanced, but also prevents dependency from forming. If you allow humility and love to guide each interaction, your presence becomes a healing force in a world desperately needing authentic leadership. And that, more than any fleeting glory, epitomizes the true power of a chosen one. Chapter 7. Stepping Through and Beyond. You stand at the cusp of this unparalleled gateway, aware that crossing into the rarefied realm is both a milestone and a beginning. By now, you sense the watchful eyes, brave the skepticism, cleanse your emotional echoes, and prepare your environment to host higher frequencies. In short, you've done the work. And as you linger in this in-between state, one foot in the familiar world, the other poised to enter the unknown, you realize something profound. The act of stepping through is not a grand spectacle, but a gentle, almost seamless transition fueled by faith and recognition. Those who've been observing you sense that you're no longer living on the same wavelength as before. They may not comprehend the full scope of your transformation, but they recognize something has shifted. You too feel the subtle difference in your breath, in your heartbeat, in the clarity of your thoughts. It's as though you've slipped into a broader dimension where time, space, and potential expand beyond their usual confines. And in that expansion, you see how your unique journey is part of a grand cosmic tapestry, woven with intention and grace. Once you finally step through, you'll discover that this rarefied realm is a living, breathing expanse of possibility. It's less about mythical visions and more about the reality-shifting choices you can now make, choices aligned with deeper wisdom and unconditional love. You'll sense new guides entering your orbit, or perhaps old familiar presences taking on fresh forms. The watchers remain, but their gaze is tempered by awe rather than doubt, for even they must yield to the undeniable power of a soul that's merged with its divine inheritance. Yet even as you cross this portal, another threshold will appear in the distance. The journey never truly ends. Each realm you enter becomes a stepping stone to another. This is the gift and the challenge of being a chosen one, to perpetually evolve, to never fully settle, and to carry within you the blueprint of realms still unnamed. In a way, you become a conduit, bridging the worlds of humans and gods, offering an example of what's possible for those who dare to look inward and upward at the same time. You may wonder what life looks like on the other side of this portal. Will your everyday routines change drastically, or will you simply carry a deeper resonance into the tasks you've always done? Likely it's a bit of both. The external world may appear the same, work, relationships, community, but your interactions within it will be charged with a new potency. You'll notice how you influence outcomes simply by entering a room with elevated intentions. You'll see healing occur in your wake, sometimes without a word. And for those who question or marvel at your metamorphosis, you'll stand as living proof that the rarefied realm does exist and that it calls each soul by name. So you stand here now, on the brink of stepping through, fueled by the soft hum of destiny. You feel the trembling of your heart, not in fear, but in anticipation of what lies beyond. With your eyes forward and your spirit alight, you accept this invitation from the universe, knowing it's the culmination of every moment that led to now. And as you lean forward, ready to cross into the unknown, you realize that those who watch will one day see for themselves what you already know. This is the threshold that changes.